This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Welcome everybody. Oh, good. Tom is coming on board here. That's wonderful. I just want to say, first of all, thanks to everybody who has joined and volunteered. I'm very looking forward to working with all of you. Does anybody have any additions or questions about the agenda? Okay, seeing none, let me pull up the agenda real quick. I can find it here. Are people seeing that?
Yes, thank you.
So our goals are to agree on, did people take a look at the ground rules? Does that look good, or should I pull that up?
I thought they were fine.
Okay, great. Why don't we just go right ahead to the round robin and get to know each other a little bit and find out what our interests are?
Okay.
If that's okay. Just get back into, let's stop sharing here. And why don't I'm just going to go for on my screen, and let's start with Barbara. And what we'd like to hear a little bit is your connection to Arrowsic and your interest in this group.
Great. It's Barbara Footer, and the agenda says Barbara Fetter, but it's completely fine. My grandparents bought land on Arrowsic Island in like 1941. So I grew up going to Arrowsic when I was growing up, and my uncle now owned, and my mother owned the land on Old Stage Road. We now also own the lighthouse keeper's house, the Doubling Point Lighthouse, and we maintain that as a foundation. I'm on the board of that too. I am a semi-retired lawyer, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee, which seems pretty far away. But my sister and I own our house on Arrowsic Island. And I'm very involved in environmental work. I do environmental lobbying here in Tennessee, and would be able to come up for meetings so long as they're on a weekend or a Monday or a Friday, because I'd have to fly up. I'll be up there like in July, but for in-person meetings, I can make arrangements to get up there. But I'm very passionate and involved with developing climate plans, climate resiliency, and getting on board to make sure that our island and our land and our water and our we provide flood resistant barriers and so forth. I love the mission of this. I love the grant that was written. I thought it was just a tremendous job, and thank you for letting me be a part of the group.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Sounds like some great skills. Mona, how about you're up next?
Hello, I'm Mona Schlein. I live on Whitmore's Landing Road. I have lived here for 35 years, and I am interested in maintaining and preserving our amazing island for future generations. I've witnessed a lot of changes in those years, and I would like to help out and ensure that we have what we need, educational formats, and any support that I can give. That's what I'm hoping to do. The downside is I will not be available for the next 3 months, and after that I will be.
Thank you so much, Mona. Pam, how about your next?
Well, I don't have much of a connection. I sold my big house in Bath and was looking for a place to rent. I no longer wanted to own, and Kevin Bachman had this wonderful house on Old Stage Road that he had just finished building. And it was a perfect fit for me. And I've been here now almost 4 years, and I love living on the island. It's just been a wonderful experience for me. So that's been great. My particular interest is the education component. I would really like to work with that Bowdoin student. I spent my career doing public relations, and I am really, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I just am very good at writing press releases, brochures, I'm good at cutting out a lot of stuff and making it clear and concise so that people will actually read it. So I figure that's a good place for me.
Wonderful, Pam. Thank you so much. Dan, you're up next.
Hello, everybody. I am Dan Cassidy. I am a brand new resident on Arrowsic Island. So I am most interested in just learning more about my neighbors and also the island. From a history point of view, growing up with my children, we spent summers on Squirrel Island in Booth Bay Harbor. And we drove right through the area every summer. And so I always had this sort of interest to get down into Georgetown and Arrowsic Island. And we found a place also in Whitmore's Landing. And so we're newly arrived. I come from, I'm on the, well, was on the Conservation Commission in Barrington, New Hampshire prior to moving here. So I've got a bit of an interest in both conservation, and my college degree was in geology. So I'm kind of grounded in the earth, as they say. So and also arrived just in time for the big floods about 2 weeks ago. Couldn't get off the island there for a day. So kind of good timing, I guess, for seeing some of the impacts that Arrowsic is going to be seeing in the future. So that's the short version.
Wonderful, Dan. Thank you.
Karen Sattler, also on Whitmore's Landing Road, German accent, moved to Arrowsic in 2017 from Germany, from a city. I find this at times challenging to be on this beautiful island because it's so remote compared to where I come from. And retired small animal veterinarian, work at Now You're Cooking, so interested in lots of new things. And I find climate change and the severe weather events personally concerning, and it's easier for me to deal with those emotions when I get involved. And so I think that's my personal motivation to be here.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Geiger. I live on Route 127 near Sewell Pond, and I've lived on over 5 years. I actually have lost track of when I first moved here. Might have been 27 years. I don't know. It's been a while. I love this town. I first when I lived in, and a friend of mine built a yurt over off of Old Stage Road, and we would visit there. And since it's a beautiful place, it's a special place. I volunteer on the Arrowsic Town Planning Board as chair. So part of my interest in this committee is just sort of looking at any kind of potential intersects that might be there. On a personal level, also, I have 6 grandchildren, and I'm with Karen in finding the sort of acceleration of climate impacts really alarming, and wanting to get involved. So I feel like I'm doing what I can to make a difference on that score. And just in general, my interest is figuring out ways that we can help individuals do their part to sort of take the steps, whether it's insulation or EV vehicles or driving less or biking, all the small incremental things, because from everything I've read about this emergency, it's like there's no solution. You have to do everything. You can't just do one thing. You can't just have legislation. You can't just have everybody insulate. You have to do it all the above kind of approach. So what interests me is maybe seeing where we can, as a committee, help educate Arrowsic residents on things they can do on a personal level, just to help make that incremental difference.
Thank you. Tom,
Yes, Tom Spear. Sorry, I didn't put my last name there. We first came to Arrowsic about 10 years ago, moved here permanently 4 or 5. You may know my wife, Sheila Spear, who was the administrator for a while. I also am involved in putting out the Arrow, and one of the writers on that. In my former life, I was a history professor. Did quite a bit of grant writing and PR and that kind of thing. But most immediately, the Christmas storm was a real wake up for us because we live on probably the lowest point of Arrowsic. We're 8 feet above mean high tide, and the Christmas storm came pretty close. So we're just off of 127 where it floods. So that's my immediate concern, but generally speaking, interested in climate change issues generally.
thank you so much. Tom, it's great to have you here. Jenna, you're next.
Hi, everybody. I live on Newtown Road in Arrowsic, and I've been a community member here for about 6 months. So we're new here too, Dan. And in my time here, I joined the Arrowsic Conservation Commission, and I've loved getting to know about all of the great conservation work that Arrowsic has done over the years. It's really impressed me and made me fall in love with the community even more. In my life, I serve in the Maine legislature as a staff person. And so my background is in public policy and, trying to find ways to make things happen and be sustainable. So that's what I want to get involved with here.
Right, glad to have you. Jack, you're next.
I've lived in Arrowsic now for about 6 years, I guess. I lived in Maine over 40 years. I've had some experience with some of the issues the committee may come across. I'm a licensed civil engineer in several states. I've been involved in a variety of projects. I've also been involved with a number of the committees in Arrowsic, including the property committee, and I'm responsible for writing the property condition assessment for Arrowsic of all of its fixed properties. So, I have some interest in where Arrowsic's future is. So I thought it'd be interesting to step in and see what's going on here at this committee.
Jack, thank you. And Alicia, you're next. So nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too. And sorry, I was a little late. My husband and I bought a house on Whitmore's Landing Road about 6 years ago, and we split our time between there and Maryland, but hopefully we can make the hard move in a few years. I've worked on energy and climate change for about 25 years, and I lead climate change for an international research institute based in the US. And I've worked on this in the US and internationally, and on resilience specifically for the past several years. And I am so excited to actually work with my community on this. So I'm super excited, and I hope to just help out wherever I can, and hopefully provide some links to maybe some tools or things that can give us some shortcuts that I know about, but happy to do whatever. So thanks for putting this group together.
Thank you, Alicia. That's great. Jesse, you're next. Jesse, can you hear me? Still not hearing you yet, Jesse. Oh, bummer. You must live in Arrowsic. dear. There, I think I might be able to hear you now, Jesse. She's calling back in. Let's wait a couple minutes for Jesse. Well, while we're waiting for Jesse, I'll just say I'm Jody Jones. I live on the Spinning Mill Road, but I lived on the old Stage Road for 35 years or so. And I'm retired from working in the conservation programs. I worked at land trusts at Maine Audubon and a variety of other places. And so I'm very excited just to help pull people together and learn from all of you and move this project forward. And we'll wait a few more minutes for Jesse.
Jody, thank you for taking the helm with this. Appreciate that.
It's fun. I'm looking forward to having more people involved. It'll be great. And as Barbara mentioned, the proposal, and it was Priscilla Tucker who worked with me to write the proposal. She's on the Conservation Commission. She doesn't necessarily want to be on this group, but she's available, you know, to advise us in any way. I've already had her working on a job description, Pam, for the Bowdoin student.
The grant is just beautifully done. You guys did a great job.
Oh, wow, thank you. Oh, good. Looks like Jesse's dialing up. Yay, Jesse. Any luck? Looks. Jesse, nod if you can hear us. Okay. Well, I mean, all I know about Jessie is that whenever I've written something, she makes it much better. And she connects with people really well. She's a great educator. I don't actually know all of her background, but she's been a real resource for me personally. So, Jessie, do you want to write something, or? I'm so sorry. Can't hear you. Can anybody else hear her? No?
Jesse, you might try also calling in on your phone and doing the audio on your phone, but you could keep your presence on the screen as well, so you could see everybody, but then be able to hear and speak. Like you'll just have two squares, one will just be your phone number. It's an idea.
Yeah. Well, Jesse's working on that. Although I pulled this group together, I am very amenable to somebody volunteering to be chair of the committee. Is there anybody who'd be interested in doing that? No. I was listening to Alicia. I'm like, wow, she would be a great chair of the committee.
Jody, could you share maybe what you envision being the tasks for that person?
Sure. Primarily, it's keeping us organized and on task. So helping set the agendas, setting up the meetings, checking in with our committee members who have been dedicated to some tasks, sort of troubleshooting when people get, bogged down on something. But posting notes and whatnot. I am kind of taking notes this time, but we'll probably try to spread that out as we move along. So it's basically preparing for every meeting and getting the background materials ready.
Do you envision us meeting every month or how frequently?
I would say to keep keep the progress moving, I would say every month. Our next meeting will be with our consultant, Judy Colby George, I think, and probably at the town hall. And Barbara, maybe we can, Zoom you in to set a mission statement and set up the timeline, finalize the timeline. We've got a rough draft in the grant, and then that person would probably, the chair would probably be the primary contact for the consultant. I'm hoping that somebody else on the committee would be the primary contact for the Bowdoin College student. Jesse, I think we can hear you.
Hi, sorry.
Hey, Jesse.
I switched to my laptop.
Quick update on you?
Sure. So I'm on the Conservation Commission, and I moved to Arrowsic in 2017. I live here with my husband, my dogs, my chickens, and my 3-year-old son. In the real world, I'm a content producer for children's television, a couple PBS kids shows. The primary show I work on is focused on getting kids engaged in the backyard nature, or the nature in their backyards, and becoming environmental stewards. So this is an issue that is dear to my heart, and I am excited to get started.
No wonder you're such a good writer. Mine tends to be very boring. Yours tends to really zip it up. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was just asking for volunteers who might want to be chair of the committee, and I sort of called out Alicia just on the off chance she might be interested, and you can tell me if you are. Or...
I would be very interested. I am not often in Arrowsic though. Like I wouldn't be there in person probably next month. So if that's a concern, I would totally understand, and it might be better for someone else.
I have an idea of maybe I would love to have some help. If I'm happy to be chair if nobody else wants it, but if I could have somebody be a co-chair so that I can pass things back and forth and whatnot, that's really helpful to me.
Well, I would volunteer Jody to be your co-chair if that's
that
open.
Would be great. So any other people who are interested? If not, I would recommend that Alicia and I share sort of a co-chair for this group. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both for serving.
Yeah. And
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. I echo that. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're into sort of drilling down a little bit more on the roles that people are interested in, and I think there'll be lots of opportunities when we start drafting the plan, the action plan, and I think all of us will need to be part of that in different aspects. But to kick it off, I'd love to have folks take a look at some of the tasks that I pulled from the grant, and see if people would like to put their names next to those. It's under number 4, and I could actually share that and start typing names in if that's helpful to people, or how would you like to?
Yeah, it would be great if you would share the screen. I remember reading it, but
Sure.
But if we could look at it together, it'd be wonderful.
Sure. Hold on. Screen. proposal. Here we go. Is that people seeing that?
Yep.
So it's this part right here. I'm gonna see if I can pull this into the. So what I have here is, go ahead, what's that? I'm sorry, did somebody have something? If not, so what I have here is helping with the educational brochure by mentoring and overseeing the Bowdoin College student, developing regional projects. That's kind of that's sort of a much more forward looking part that's not necessarily related to this grant, but maybe future grants. Also researching and developing future grant opportunities, both for the town and maybe regionally, organizing some of the community workshops that will be part of this process, publicizing our work, editing parts of the plan, and then helping with the quarterly progress reports through tracking the grant expenses. And I'll just mention that Margaret Coughlin mentioned that she was interested in that, as well as the workshops and the outreach stuff. So I did hear from her, even though she couldn't be here.
So do you just want volunteers, Jody?
I do, exactly.
Okay. I would like to volunteer to work with the Bowdoin student on a brochure.
Awesome. Pam, Karen.
I would love to help with the organizing community workshops.
Okay, let me just write this down while I'm doing this.
I'd love to help Karen with that.
Wonderful.
I might be able to help with some of the editing work
Great.
for the.
Yeah, I could do editing and that kind of thing as well. One of the things I thought of, you may remember that when we were talking about broadband, the Arrow put out a special issue that kind of laid out all the various aspects of broadband for the people before the town meeting. I'd sort of be willing to do something like that again, or make sure that there are every issue, there are reports on what we're doing and that kind of thing.
Tom, that would be really helpful.
I'll be part of that too.
Awesome.
I have a question for Jennifer. Jennifer, would you be willing to work with me and do press releases for when we want information to go out? Since you're in that category.
I wouldn't mind being backup, but I just want to be mindful that I'm also going to have planning board work to do to prepare for town meeting. So I don't want to over promise and then under deliver. But Pam, you can reach out to me around that. Yeah.
So if you funnel me the information, I'm happy to write the press releases.
Oh, like I could send you a draft and you can make it. Okay, right.
Okay, Jesse, did I hear you?
Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I can help with things that fall under the communications umbrella as well as the educational umbrella. So the workshops, I can sort of fill in. I never know how much time I'm gonna have, but if anything falls under those two umbrellas, I'm happy to help if I have the time.
Awesome.
I'm not sure where I can fit in because I don't live there full time, only there a couple of months, but I mean, I'd be happy to keep my eye out and do some research on grants. And then if I can, I'd love to be involved with some community workshops, but I'm not sure I would be much help, but
Barbara,
I do what I can do.
that's great. I mean, just so you know, the bipartisan infrastructure law is huge. And
Okay.
there are lots of opportunities there that I'm sure Jenna knows a little bit about it as well, but where Arrowsic can fit in, both regionally or on a town basis. Maybe, Jenna, is that something you're interested in as well, or?
Well, I just learned that Maine is going to hopefully, sounds like, invest like $400 million to be eligible for about $1 billion worth of match. So I do know a little bit about what's going on there. It's definitely not my area of expertise, but I'm very happy to help collaborate with you, Barbara.
I know very little about it, so maybe we can troubleshoot which role, but yeah, I'd love to work with you on it.
I have a question. This is definitely not volunteering, but we cooperate with several other towns on this issue. Do we have any sort of set process of coordinating with them? So I was talking to somebody from Pittsburgh the other day and somebody else from West Bath.
So through the partnership grant that we received, there are monthly meetings, or not monthly, there are occasional meetings to sort of think more regionally. And it would be great if somebody could attend those meetings whenever they are, or, think about sort of that cross fertilization between other towns. I've made some of those meetings, but I haven't made them all, I don't think. I think some of the larger, sort of like road projects, or, some of the ideas that came out in our workshop, like charging stations and whatnot, are kind of regional, potentially regionally funded projects. So,
And I think I might be also on that meeting list
yeah,
as a planning board representative, so I can help to monitor that too.
okay, I'm gonna put you, Jennifer, as just developing regional projects.
Well, I thought like somebody like with Jack, I didn't know him before. Jack Carr, someone who was a civil engineer, might be better for that kind of thing, but I'm happy to just be a conduit there.
Yeah, we lost Jack. Did we lose Jack?
Yeah, where did he go? I was looking for his name and it was gone, so I had to look
Yeah,
up where I wrote it.
maybe his internet went down. I don't know.
So sure, yes, you can put me down for that.
Okay.
And I'll just be like an information sharer.
And
About how
I have a
that's going.
question about that. Could you send out the dates for those meetings to all of us? And then maybe if someone cannot attend, someone else might be able to join?
Yeah, Jody, you get them too, right? You want to be the person that's that point person?
What I can do is send everybody the link, and you can sign up yourself to get notifications from the partnership folks that are organizing them. I'll make sure I'll send that out to all of you, because there's lots of opportunities to educate ourselves through that program. There's seminars, and which we all should, based on our availability and interest, could be a part of. So I'll send that out. That's one of my actions.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Jody, you could put me in on, I guess I was originally thinking of developing regional projects. So I would probably follow that group as well, in terms of other communities in the area. But I would also volunteer in that G category with the quarterly progress reports. And
Oh, wonderful.
I haven't heard that one come up yet. So
No, no, that's great, Dan. Okay, let me just see if I've got everybody here, if you don't mind. So with the Bowdoin, helping with the Bowdoin College
Hey.
student, I've got Pam. And it's, you know, it might be good to have two of you. So think about that. And then I went under developing regional projects. Right now I've got Jennifer to sort of monitor it, and Dan. Researching and developing future grant opportunities, I've got Barbara and Jenna. Organizing community workshops, I've got Karen, Jenna, Jesse. Am I missing somebody?
I said I want to be involved with that, but I might not be able to do much, but
And who is that? I'm sorry.
Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, great. Publicizing our work, I've got Tom, Karen, and Jesse. That'd be writing articles and, you know, making sure everybody in town knows. Editing sections of the action plan, I've got Jennifer and Tom, and I'm sure a number of us will be involved in that as well. And then helping with quarterly progress reports, I've got Dan. And I
Didn't
know
you say
that,
Margaret? Didn't you say Margaret wanted to be involved with that too?
yes, I do. I did. Perfect. And she was also interested in the workshops, so I'm going to put her down for that too. And she did mention the Bowdoin College student. I know that it'll be important to sort of, you know, figure that out with Pam. Maybe Pam, you could reach out to Mark. Well, maybe I'll chat with you again, Pam.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I think any other questions or thoughts? Okay, our next meeting, I wanted to sort of work with you together. We'll be with Judy Colby George and to do the mission statement, the decision making, and review our timeline based on it. Is there anything else you would like to see happen at our next meeting?
Do we want Jody for the people who did volunteers to kind of meet in between and just kind of come up with like what we've been working on? I mean, do you want us to kind of start like making monthly or, you know, every other month report on what we're doing, or just for maybe 1 or 2 sentences on what's going on?
I think that sounds like a great idea, Barbara. How do people feel about that? I'm going to try to get these notes out in the next day or two. I will pass them by my co-chair, Alicia, make sure I captured everything correctly, and then get them out to you. And then, you know, my hope is that people will just sort of dive in and you know, based on the grant proposal, I think, you know, start collecting information, and also I'll send the link to the partnership climate, I can't remember, I call it the partnership, with opportunities for all of you to attend, you know, webinars basically. I know there's one, maybe I missed it, but they're all recorded, coming up on roads and how to access funding for road projects and whatnot.
Okay.
There's a number of them, but I'll send that out as well. And I think we actually, you know, I think the funding will actually come and then get into the Arrowsic bank account in about 6 weeks. So we can't really spend any, well, we probably could, but we shouldn't spend any money till then. But
Julie, how do we get, who appoints the Bowdoin student? How does that person come into fruition?
Good question, Pam. Actually, Priscilla Tucker, who helped me write the grant, and I had a quick meeting with Eileen at Bowdoin College to find out what the time frame is going to be. And she said actually people are at Bowdoin are starting to think about their summer work schedule. So what I've got lined up for you now is a draft job description. And then I'm going to just have you coordinate with Eileen from now on, and with the goal of having 2 or 3 students for to choose from, and then it'll come back to the committee hopefully on which one we want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you'll send me, I'll need Eileen's contact information, and you'll send me the draft.
The draft description, and then I'll turn that relationship, I'll introduce you to Eileen, and I'll turn that relationship over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, is there, just getting back, is there anything else at the next? I actually have reached out to Judy about potential meeting dates, but have not heard back from her. So I'll continue doing that. I'm sure it's, you know, holidays and all that, so hopefully she'll get back to me soon. But I think let me just go back to our meeting goals. The ground rules, committee chair, interests, begin assign roles, and agree on the agenda. I think we accomplished what we set out to. Is there anything else? Jennifer?
If it makes sense, maybe start to talk about a rough timeline at that next meeting.
Yes.
What do we, just to give us a sort of a, you know, path.
Yep.
For our action. I like deadline.
Do that, Jennifer. That's great. Yep. We have a rough timeline in the grant proposal, but I think we need to sort of, everything's been sort of delayed based on the funding coming in. So we should take another look at that as well. Okay. So in closing, is there anything else people would like to get out of our next meeting, or out of the group in general, or sort of thoughts on how we want to move forward? Any sort of last thoughts? If not, I think we can adjourn. And with my heartfelt thanks for all of you for coming together with this really important work. And I'll be sending out the notes along with our action items and assignments, and the link to the partnership information.
Jenna, I'll give you I'll email you and we can set up a time to talk.
Great.
Thank you.
Jack Carr is coming back. Should we ask him whether he would like to sign up for one of the activities?
Yes, we should. Thank you. Jack, are you there? He's on mute right now. Jack. Jack, can you hear us?
Like he's having the same Zoom problems I was having.
I'll connect with him. I actually came to Bath to have this meeting to make sure I could see all of you.
Thank you for doing that.
So, deep appreciation, everyone. And Alicia and I will get back to you in the next couple days.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording. And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice to meet everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.